Hello, kia ora, everybody, and welcome to our episode of Kicking Glass. This one is a super exciting one. We're doing a little bit of post ring, beyond the ring, what happens afterwards. So I'm Sue Glassey. I'm coming to you from Wellington live, and we are going to celebrate some of the women that have been breaking the glass ceiling and trailblazing for the other females coming through now and creating all of these avenues and these opportunities for them to get in the ring. But today we're going to flip it on its head a little bit, and we're going to talk about what happens after the ring. I mean, there might be multiple reasons why we step out of our career, whether we're retiring, whether it's forced retirement due to injury or life happenings. Today, we're going to delve a little bit into motherhood and what that is like once you have stepped outside of the ring. And so I am not going to wait any longer. I'm super, super excited to introduce to you six-time world champion, multiple intercontinental and other host of champions. She actually was someone I always secretly fangirled over. So now I am a little bit excited and really happy to introduce to you from Australia, Caley Reece. Welcome, Caley.
Thank you so much. It's so funny to hear you say about the fangirling thing, because I used to watch you in the IFMA games and stuff, like just punching, and I used to think, God, I wish I had hands like her. It's so funny, isn't it? Like how we look at everybody else and wish we kind of had things that they have, and you fangirled on me and I fangirled on you, and here we are talking about the next phase of life that we have to endure.
That's so true. And can you tell us, just so the others have got a little bit of background, how did you get into Muay Thai? And I don't know, just what is it that kind of got its hooks into you?
I think I think it was just I played competitive basketball for a long time, and I went to a fight show and I saw this girl fighting. I was like, oh, I really want to do what she's doing. I was doing kickboxing just like for general fitness at the time when I saw this girl. Actually, it was Tiana Cavalier. Everyone probably knows who Tiana is.
Yeah, I know
And
who she is.
I saw Tiana and I was like, I really want to do that. That looks, with the elbows and the knees, that looks good. I want to do that. So then obviously I seeked out a good coach and found Darren, and just the rest is history, really. I just knew that I think my mum and dad were going through like a divorce and stuff too. So I'm thinking that maybe now looking back at it, I probably wanted to get out some like frustration and stuff like that. And I just found that punching stuff and people worked. And yeah, I just felt really good when I did it. So the rest is history.
So does, eh? I love hitting things. It just makes me feel so good.
Yeah.
It's
It's
so
so
powerful.
bizarre, isn't it? I was
Yeah.
training a lady yesterday. Her daughter's going through very similar things. They're going through a separation, and the daughter's going through some troubled times. And I was like, just get her to come and hit the pads. Like as soon as she hits them, she'll feel so much better. So
Yeah.
much better. There's
And
something about it.
what about getting, like, you were an elite athlete for I don't know how long. Like how many years were you at the top?
Oh, at the top. I don't know. It seems like forever. But now that I'm a mum, it seemed like not very long. Probably like 5 years, maybe, or something. 6. I think I was
All right.
it was quite a quick climb to the top. Um,
Yeah.
yeah, it was quite a quick climb to the top because I got a lot of fights in. I got 60 fights in 10 years. I crammed all that into a short space of
Wow.
time. Yeah, so it was a quicker climb because I was like smashing the fights out like quite quickly. One year, I think I did 14 fights in 1 year, which was pretty full on.
Holy.
Mm.
Especially for back
Um,
then, because like the fights
yeah,
was that were so much harder to come by.
yeah, that's right. And if I didn't have fights in Australia, I just fly myself to Thailand, and my coach in Thailand would just get me fights straight away. So I would always make sure that I was, busy, and I knew that I only had a short period of time as well because I was a little bit older. I knew I had a short period of time, and I needed to get as much done as what I could in that period of time. So,
And you
but I reckon probably 5 years or something.
yeah, I thought it was longer
Yeah.
than that. I feel like it was a lot longer than that. But I was just thinking, like, when you're in the game, like your whole focus, everything is all on training, and it's not
Yeah.
just like skill training, you know, it's fitness training, it's nutrition, it's like sports psychology, is all of that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
And we do a lot of prep for that, but nobody really preps you for what happens afterwards.
Oh my
Like
God.
when you retire, or when you're forced to retire because of injury, or you just can't like keep up with it. So I, like, after one child, I went back and I kept training, and then after the second one, it was a forced retirement. Really,
Yeah.
I just couldn't do it with
Same.
children.
Yeah.
So how did, because you retired and then you went to motherhood, eh?
Yeah. Well, so because I was a little bit older, I had the choice of having kids like within my career and then going back to fighting, or getting out as much as I could, and being happy with where I got to, and then focusing on having kids. So I had that choice, and I toyed with it like for a year or two. And then I was like, I don't reckon I would actually go back to fighting. I think once I have the child, my focus will be more on that. And then my training will give, like something will have to give. So then I decided to just focus on just the training and then have the kids. So yeah,
But you also had a gym though as well, because you weren't just a
yeah,
fighter, you were a trainer and a co-owner
yeah,
of a gym. Like
yeah.
you're a
Yeah,
trailblazer in that way too.
yeah, I just knew that I couldn't have the children like in the middle of it, because I just burn out. And I know that it would happen because I give 100% with everything that I do. So eventually something would have to give, and I didn't want it to be the kids, because like I was obsessed with what I did, right? Every fighter has to be sort of semi-obsessed to do what they're doing. So I knew that if I went back to it, I'd still be the headspace, and I'd still be obsessed with it, and it would come first, and it would just, I've got to get my training in, I've got to go to sauna, I've got to do all this stuff. And I didn't want that to be the case, because I wanted the kids to be my priority. So yeah.
And I think that's, we're a bit of perfection. People that become world champions or multiple world champions like you are, you have to be very driven and very focused and very into the perfectionism. So if you're going to do something, you do it 150% or like 200%. So if you're going to be mother, you're going to think that the same. But how was the transition?
Well, after I had my first, I was bathing him in the bath. I'm like this, like I'm still I've got a newborn. I was bathing him in the bath, and Darren called me, and he's like, "Oh, I've just got a call from Michael Chiavello, and they want you to be the first girl fighting on this new promotion called One Championship." And I was like, "Oh, that sounds good. Yeah, that sounds like something that I want to do. Yeah, sign me up." Put my name down, and he put it forward. And they were looking for a match and all that kind of stuff, because it was brand new, that hadn't even been a thing yet, and they wanted a good Aussie to represent obviously Australia. And then I was looking at him in the bath, and I was like, I'm going to have to give this up. I'm going to have to get a nanny. I'm going to have to get babysitters, and I'm going to have to be back in the gym every night, because I need to clinch the fighters. I can't be training during the day because I don't have anyone to train with. I can't do it, because I'm going to have to give up this time, and I don't want to give up this time because they're only little for so long. And I keep reminding them of that. So then I literally, about 10 minutes later, I just called him back. I said, like, just pull my name out of it. I don't want to do it, even though like part of me and my habits of saying yes to fights were there. And I probably did a little bit, but I was like, I need to just make this decision and be happy with what I've done and the choice that I've made, and just be happy and grateful that I had the career that I had, pretty much.
Like I was thinking, because that was a choice you made, and I'm wondering, and I'm basing this on like kind of, I had somebody ask me when my daughter was probably about 18 months, and I'd said, oh, I'm really struggling. I would 100% give her back to have my old life back. Like right now,
oh man, it's just so hard.
Yeah, so having made that choice deliberately, was it still a bombshell for you? Like, or was it like planned and it all went okay?
Oh, it's a bombshell. Of course it was a bombshell. I was like thinking I was going to have this like easy life as a mum. It was like, yeah, good one. So of course, it wasn't easy at all. But I remember this one conversation that I had with my sports psychologist, and I'll never ever forget it. He said, just make sure when you retire and you finish, you go out on top. So everyone remembers you, how they remember you. Like if you go a little bit further and, you get these athletes that are kind of greedy, as I guess, so to speak, and they start to lose, and then their legacy becomes, decreased, and that's how people will remember them. And I'll always remember that. And I was just thinking to myself, just be happy with what you've done. You finished on top. You're actually doing what he said, and you did everything he said in your whole career, and it worked. So just listen to him in this instance, and hopefully it should work. But no, I'm glad that I did it. I'm glad that I made that choice. But it's been so hard, so hard, and there's just so many things that I could.
We were talking about that. So tell us, I think we need to be a little bit raw, because I think people think it's like glamorous and it's like all you ever wanted it to be. Like, I found it deeply, I don't even know. Like even worse than horrible. Like,
it's horrible.
It wasn't because I didn't love my daughter. Oh my God, I loved her. Like everything about her, I wouldn't have changed it for the world, but it was a world I didn't want at that time. Like,
it's so hard. You're exactly right. You're just torn between these two worlds, and you feel like you shouldn't be feeling like you are, and that makes it even worse, because you should be happy that you've got this beautiful new child, but you're like, I kind of want this life back, because I was doing so much and so well, and now I'm cleaning up shit and spew.
Yeah,
it's hard.
And I don't know, like, is it a little bit to do with your ego? Because, like, before I had children, I was like this incredible super person, and then suddenly I was a nobody, and I just felt like punching everybody around me and telling them, well, fuck, I'm better. Oh, yeah, I should say that online. I'm better than that.
I don't know, like I have had to do so much like work on myself in this particular subject, because like I said to you when we chatted on the phone, I didn't have anyone to talk to, because there was like sort of not really an era before mine and yours, and I didn't really have that person to sort of speak to. And I could have spoken to Angie, but her situation was a little bit different to mine, because her kids were a bit older, and it was just a little bit different. So I didn't really have anyone to reach out to and sort of talk to about what is going to be faced, and how I should be feeling, or if this is even normal. Like, why am I crying at this beautiful child when I want to be in the gym, like. So I think for me, like, I've had to do so much work, and I don't feel for me that it was an ego thing, because I'd fight in front of like a crowd of nobody, and I train by myself. I don't need like people like watching me or anything like that. I'm happy just to actually feel like I'm accomplishing something, and that's what I feel like I was missing, and I still do feel like I'm missing. I don't care about like people that know you or don't know you. It's like the feeling of just being average is difficult, and if you've succeeded in something for a long time and you've done really well, to then have that all taken away from you, and you're just living this life of feeling like you're not doing anything that's like making you feel like you're like a person on the earth, like, it's just, I don't know, it's just really difficult. And so I went from, world title level, winning all these fights, going to Thailand, getting these offers for fights, and accomplishing something all the time, like personal goals and things like that, to that just not being there. And I just had no one to talk to at all. No one.
I think you hit the nail on the head there, because I think maybe it wasn't quite so much my ego. Well, I'd like to think it wasn't, but like, it was lonely. It was lonely. There's nobody that understood what it was.
Yeah. And so because you are feeling lonely, you're thinking that it's probably your ego, whereas in fact it's probably not. It's probably you just loved what you did, and the contrast between the two lives is just massive. Like, if I was to fall pregnant now, which won't be happening, to keep going, it would be not really much comparison. Yeah. But to put that old life compared to this life, that's a huge comparison, and that's where it's like weighs on you heavy, because you're like, holy shit, I was there. And people are like, yeah, but having kids is an achievement. I'm like, no, it's not an achievement. It's not an achievement. Not a personal achievement.
The woman do it.
Yeah, it's not an achievement. It's something that's evolution, and I love my kids, and I've said that to you. I adore them, but I don't look at them as an achievement. I look at them as human beings and their own little souls, not something that I can like put a trophy on myself for. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah, I do. Yeah, I do. That's so the point, isn't it? Like,
Yeah,
it kind of, you just get caught back into mundane, and then I think, well, when you're training, it is mundane. Like,
it is mundane.
you keep in repetitive. You keep doing the same stuff over and over and over again.
But there's an end
Why
goal, though. There's an end goal. I feel like with this, there's not an end goal to making sandwiches every morning. What's the end goal here? Oh, I hear my kids don't get hungry at lunchtime. But yeah, there's an end goal, and you know what you know you're doing it like for something that you've been striving to do. You know, so you know that you have to do that type of stuff to be able to get into the ring and fight. Whereas, yeah, so it doesn't feel as mundane. And if you're sparring and stuff all the time, it kind of mixes it all up anyway. But yeah, it's just going from that life of all these opportunities and really feeling accomplished within the person that you are, and feeling like you actually like you have a purpose, right? You've got a purpose, and you're here to be an athlete, and that's what you're doing, and you love it. To then not having that is it's quite hard.
Demoralizing.
Well,
It's a big crash, isn't it? Like,
and then,
I was
yeah,
thinking, what about like men? I think, is it different when they retire? They seem to be able to go into a career, and it's like, if we choose motherhood, then you kind of feel like not only is it feels like everything's taken away from you, because like, even though you're a top athlete, like, people don't see that as something on your resume to actually give you a job.
yeah, I know,
Whereas
yeah,
males seem to be able to get all these amazing jobs in the sport world.
yeah. It's because they have people like to support them to do that.
So that's a
Like,
point.
why?
Like, do you think that women don't have the support? Do you think that's one of the big differences?
I think that it's just like a societal kind of thing where it's just known and it's just expected for the woman to be the main carer of the baby, obviously, because especially if they're feeding, like if they're breastfeeding, the main carer of the baby, because you're always breastfeeding, right? So for that first however long that you are feeding, the baby is kind of with you. So it kind of looks like you're like almost more responsible because you're keeping it alive, right? So then,
True.
because the man can't do that, they go out and they get the job and they continue life as normal, whereas we can't continue life as normal because we have someone sucking on our boobs to keep them alive, right? So we can't go back to work and do all these stuff that the men do. So it kind of like gets into a habit of just expecting the woman to be in the position that we're in, and then the men, they go off to work and come home and then contribute. So it's so hard because I don't know if there's many people in my sort of like situation, but I was obviously the fighter. Then I had the kids, so I was at home. Dad was still in the gym, so I had to see it as well. I had to sort of see him always going back to the gym and back to the fight shows, and holding pads for the fighters. And it wasn't like he was like a doctor or I don't know, landscaper or something. Whereas he would just go out to completely something different. He was going back to where I was every night. Yeah. And so that really made it hard too, because it was like, this is really in my face now. Like, I can't actually hide from it. I see him come home in his gym clothes. I see him go off to the fight shows. And like, if I want to go to a fight show, I've got kids and snacks, and it's just, it was fucking hard.
I was like, I always felt like I was a pigged up or penned in cow. And it's like, and then, like you say, by the time you finish breastfeeding, if that, or doing the first, a lot of nurturing, it becomes a habit already, and then you're kind of stuck in the habit, and it's kind of expected of you. But I remember you saying that you kind of convinced yourself that you didn't like Muay Thai anymore.
With all these mind games, I still sometimes, like, I don't know if I still sometimes do it. I guess I've still got the thought in my head that I had to, because I was at home a lot and Daz was in the gym, and it was kind of just like, well, that's kind of how it just was now. And I sort of had to convince myself that I don't even like that sport anymore. I don't even want to be involved with it. So it wouldn't feel as like too much of a punch in the face, that I wasn't able to do as much as what I maybe wanted to do or was offered to do or anything like that. So I was a couple of years. That's probably why like I didn't really do too much with it, because I had to almost convince myself that I didn't really like it, which is so sad. And
So sad.
I guess that was my coping mechanism, because I didn't know what else to do, and I didn't have any like help or any support network or anything like that I could call on or anything. So I just came up with my own sort of plan, I guess. But yeah.
You said that, like, and you've said it a few times, like a support network. There wasn't one there for you. There wasn't one there for me. And I'm thinking about like all of these athletes now, especially female athletes that are coming off and retirement and going into motherhood or other careers. What do you think we need to do? Like, how do we help them so that they don't get stuck? I mean, like, it's pretty suicidal. I don't want to be like,
honestly, it's like when I think back to, you know, certain times and just how isolating it is, I just think to myself, I'm probably lucky that I'm like a relatively strong person, and I did come up with that sort of plan within my own head, even though it wasn't true. I convinced myself that I didn't. But if I hadn't have done something like that, I don't know what would have happened, to be honest, because teaming it up with your hormones and all that kind of stuff, it doesn't take much, you know, to make some women for them to flip out. So yeah, it's not a good time. And I really feel like if I had have had like a support network or something in place, or just someone to talk to about, you know, is it normal? Am I like overreacting? What can I actually do to make myself better? Like I took up CrossFit. That was good. That actually like sort of decreased the I guess the wounds that were healing from not doing Muay Thai, and gave me that sort of outlet to sort of compete when I wanted to and stuff like that. But yeah, if I didn't have that, and I didn't have the support network, you know, coaches and things like that, they need to be more aware and more onto what happens after the fighter has finished, because they do focus solely obviously on the fighter itself, like in the ring and training and all that sort of stuff, and building their athletic career. Well, the athletic career still continues when they finish fighting, because they have to come down from that athletic career too. So there needs to be I don't know, some sort of network or support system in place where these athletes have someone to go to, and the coaches, they have, I don't know, workshops about how they can support these athletes and things like that, because you can't just expect the athlete to perform and then we're not animals. We are animals, but we're not in the zoo. Do you know what I mean?
yeah,
Like
yeah.
our emotions and stuff like that. After, we need help, and most of them aren't there. So we need something that will, I don't know, like a group or some sort of something to just be there for to be there for these athletes that have been there, done the hard yards, and now are finishing up.
Yeah, and
Because
also
it's not
so they
easy.
don't feel alone in those feelings,
Yeah.
because it's such a feeling of isolation and such a, like, it's just a real deep despair. It's actually like a death. I think like
Yeah.
your old self dies,
Yeah.
and
Like
you're left with
grieving.
like absolutely nothing.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
you have a child, and
It's
then you
grief,
try and
right?
tell somebody that, and they're like, "Oh, but you've got a child. You're so lucky," and you're like going,
Yeah.
"You don't understand."
Yeah, no, you don't. And the thing is, like, when you're operating and you're performing or whatever at such a high level, and it's just they don't understand, because the men also, a lot of them become trainers, right? So a lot of male fighters become trainers, and so that it doesn't feel like they're out of the gym or they're not in the ring or they're not accomplishing, because their fighters are then winning and stuff like that. So the I guess the wounds aren't as deep. They can kind of just transition into something that's similar but not the same type thing. So
And
that,
they can still have a family, right? They can still have a
yeah,
family and go to the
yeah,
gym like Des did, because the woman will stay at home and look after the kid. And it's like,
that's
well,
right.
it just feels so unfair.
Because it is. It is unfair. And I guess they should never expect that we're going to do that either, because everything is, especially, and I'm not saying anything bad, but I'm saying in my circumstance, everything's 50-50, right? So because of that, it should continue to keep being 50-50, but for some reason it isn't, and it's just, I don't know. And there'll be other women in my position as well who are similar, and it's just, I don't know, they're just kind of expected to be the one that's, I don't know, not able to pursue their passion, I guess, in the area. So yeah, it makes it very, very difficult because both people kind of want to do the same thing, and there's only one that can really do
it. Like, and I think like a support for other women going through it, so they don't feel like, because you kind of feel like you're a bit of an asshole when you try and explain how you feel. But if there's other people in a support network set up, like that's something we need to do, is set up a support network for our athletes.
Yeah, and I mean, even sort of like if you think of a doctor or any profession, lawyer, nurse, whatever, they go to university and then they do their time and then they get their job and then they do their job until they retire, right? Which is what, 65 or whatever. They don't have like their training and then they finish at 30 or 35. It's like they work and they do what they love right up until they have to retire, and that's old, right? But for athletes, we're only given like a short period of time, and especially for women, if we're going to have kids, we're only given a short period of time to do what we love. So we do the training, we do all the hard yards like we're going to uni, then we do the fights, and then bang, at 35 or 30 or whatever, it's not there anymore. And it's like, imagine taking that off of a doctor saying, I'm sorry, you're 35 now, so you can't operate. We've got a 32-year-old. So it's like,
you're a top surgeon, you're like one of the best in the world, but I'm sorry. You can stay home and raise a child now.
Yeah. Oh my God. Saying it just like that is just ludicrous. And any man that's in that position with that kind of job, that they would hear that they just don't understand. Like to say, sorry, you're not going to work tomorrow because you're turning 35 tomorrow, so you're going to have to retire. But you've just done all this training and this work to get to this position, and that's going to be taken off of me. It's
or you have to decide, don't you? Like, or no, you can either have your career or you can have your family, but you can't have both. That's what it kind of felt like. Like, because there's no money in sport for women. Like women, like as you go up through like the top jobs, like we might be able to do the top. I mean, well, president of IOC now is a female, right? She'll be getting paid the same as what the guys were getting, I'm sure.
Yeah.
But it doesn't like
how many are there? It's one of her, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So she's the lucky one that, you know, or the one that pursued it, and maybe her partner or something was a bit more, you know.
Or she didn't have a family.
Oh, she didn't have a family. I was just about to say, well, maybe she doesn't have kids, but I thought I better not say that just in case she's trying.
I don't know. I actually don't know if she did or not. But like, I look at people that have done really well in the sporting field. They're either older because they've done the children thing and then they've jumped through, or they've decided not to have a child. You know, so they choose between career and
not one.
Yeah, and not one.
And I think that's like, and this, I don't know if this is harsh, but you know what? It doesn't really matter because it's the truth. If I had a choice, I honestly, I don't know if I'd do it again. Like, I don't know if I would be a mum again. Like, it's so hard, and it's so, I am like comparing it to my old life, which makes it even more difficult. But no one actually goes, listen up. This is what parenthood is really like. Everyone's like, oh, congratulations, that's going to be so good. And you're thinking, oh, this is going to be sweet. Like, but you're just not given the truth. And the truth is it's fucking hard, and it's relentless, and it's every day, and it's just like, it's not even physically, it's up here. And it just grates away. And it's sort of like, feels like, I don't know, like your life is being a little bit sucked from you sometimes. And if I was to have it again, I don't know. I don't know if I would actually do it again. Like, and that's not saying I don't love my kids, because I do, like, so much. But
I fully understand where you're coming from. I'm now popping out the other end. So I'm thinking, actually, and now I'm like going, oh, okay. I think because I've been in it for so long now, I'm like, actually, I wouldn't change it. But like, if you'd gone back ago, hell I would have changed. I don't think I would have done it. I would have chosen my career, and but now I'm in a different place. So I wonder if it's just phases through life. But other women that aren't world champions, and they seem to be able to be a mum much better and find it
Oh,
easier.
yeah.
It puts me off.
I know, and I think I struggle with that too. Like I've never been the kind of girl or woman to be into cooking and baking and shopping and taking it easy. I've never been that kind of person, and so when I see the mums that, you know, they're got these amazing lunch boxes and they're doing like these really nice like balls and like rissoles and meatballs and I'm like, oh my God, I'm just not good at this and arts and crafts and I think to myself, I'm just fucking up here. I'm doing my best, but I think like coming from the type of person I am to a lot of mums that are just, I don't know, they're just very good at that type of stuff, I suppose. I just feel like I'm really like on the opposite end. So it makes me feel like I'm not good enough. And people say that I am, but I'm like, it's still, I don't
Doesn't
know,
feel
it's
that
still,
way, eh?
no, and it doesn't feel that way. And because of that, I feel like each day I'm like, oh God, I fucked that up, or he's crying, I failed that. And instead of like winning fights, I'm like, I just fucked that one up. I lost that one. Just lost to a 9-year-old.
I just lost another one. I wonder,
Yeah,
like,
just
because
lost another one.
I reckon if we talk to all the mums, they would feel the same way as us.
For sure.
In that
Yeah.
it is just so hard.
Yeah.
But I wonder if it's like, I think you nailed it there. Like, we're so used to being like, yes, I won that one. Yes, I won that one. Like, so yes, used to going, man, I suck. Man, I suck.
Yeah.
Man, I suck.
Yeah.
Because
I don't understand what they're saying. What are they trying to tell me? What's wrong with them? I don't know. You get out of control. Like you know, if you're not making weight, you know what's wrong with you. You know what you need to do, what you need to eat, how much weight you need to lose. But if your 6-year-old's crying and they're not telling you what's wrong, it's like, I don't know what to do. Got to try and figure it out. And I think that's where
run away and hide.
Come on, please give me a trophy. I think that's what becomes difficult too is the fact that if someone had have said to me, this is really hard, you need to have a good think about what it's going to be like as a parent, what your life will be like as a parent, how difficult it's going to be, rah, rah, rah. If someone had actually been honest with me and said that kind of stuff and I still chose to do it, then I don't think it would have felt as bad. But because everyone's like, oh, it's amazing and like it's so much fun and stuff like that, I feel like my expectations were up here and my reality is like here. But if I had been a bit more honest, then it might have been a little bit more even. But
funny because I was a nanny as well. Like I trained as a nanny and then nanny, and I thought I would nail it. Like I actually trained in all that shit, and I still hated it.
It's so funny because I was thinking to myself, like as when I was pregnant, I was like, I'm always tired with training. I've had some hard fights. I've had heaps of disappointments. I've been injured. I've not slept due to like, you know, injuries or whatever. Surely it can't be that hard. Like I was comparing it to being a fighter, thinking that I was going to be okay, but I was just so wrong. Like just so off the mark.
Well, I tip my hat to all mums because I swear, like being a mum is so much harder than being a world champion in a ring.
Oh yeah, so much harder. And like I said before, you certainly don't get, you know, anything for it really. I mean, I do take the time though when I see the kids doing something like really nice for somebody else or they're playing really nicely, and I think, oh, you know, that's where you feel like I guess content and that you've, you know, raised them well and things like that. But when you're in the thick of it and, you know, you're reaching for the chocolate and you would have been reaching for a piece of celery, it's like, oh, it's just another world that you're just not prepared for, I think. And because I was a bit older as well.
Yeah, I also think like one of you said that you went on and did CrossFit. I went on and did bodybuilding, and I think that actually, like you say, like I think coaches need to be able to train athletes to be able to, what are they going to need when they leave? And I think finding something else that is more manageable, that doesn't take up your whole life, that still will give you some sort of sense of self and sense of like power. Like I hated the way my body, like it was soft and not powerful anymore. And that just, I found that super difficult.
Yeah, I feel exactly the same. Like I hold pads for a couple of the girls from home, and I just feel like if they kick me in the legs or something, I would have been able to handle a whole fight of leg kicks. But now I'm like, just tone down the power. I'm like,
Just keep it soft.
just keep it soft, just keep it light. It's not hurting. But it's
We're
like,
working
yeah,
on
I don't
technique
feel,
here.
and I'm still strong, and I know I am, but I'm just certainly not like that strong anymore. Like it's
No.
just, yeah, it's a hard pill to swallow. And then going through like things like perimenopause and all of that kind of stuff, it all kind of contributes to, you know, feeling the things that we feel. And I, like we said, there's just not that support there because we go through, you know, fighting emotions, pregnancy emotions, breastfeeding emotions, parenthood emotions, maybe doing it again with another child, and then trying to figure out where we are. And then we start to go through perimenopause emotions and this whole new person that we don't even know anymore. It's like just a constant battle of change. And there's just no one that is there to say, we've got you back, because that's what needs to happen. It's just so isolating.
I think that's it. You kind of lose your community, the community that was so important to you. And I think that's kind of what you're saying is we need to create some kind of post-fight community
Yeah.
that is going to be there to support people because like you say, it's such a journey whether you decide to have a family or not have a family. But and hormones are such a roller coaster, and you know, it's something I think men will never understand.
Never.
Maybe transgender people because they have to go through different hormones, so they'll understand a
Yeah.
little bit about what it does, or actually a lot probably about what that does to your body. But I'm
Yeah.
thinking that's what we need to do. So if you had the power to make changes to, say, society or our sport or the female's journey in Muay Thai from here, what would be the three main things you would change?
I would change, obviously I wouldn't change what's happening like in their career as a fighter. I wouldn't change anything like that, but I'd probably just add stuff to it. Like say the IFMA, for example, like it's like predominantly focuses on amateurs and things like that. And then goes into the, like, you know, the games, world games and all that kind of stuff. So they're going from like an amateur level and then they're like going through the ranks. Within that time, there needs to be almost like a compulsory aspect of something which gives you all of this type of stuff. Like you need to in your week you need to do XYZ, because when you finish you don't want to be struggling with mental health issues, struggling with alcohol addiction or drug addiction or anything like that. And it's just kind of like prepare themselves for what comes after as well. And I just don't think they're thinking about that in the moment. They're thinking about what they're doing in the moment, which is what you're supposed to do. But unfortunately, there becomes after the moment too, and it happens quickly. The day that you retire, you lose your coach, you lose your supporters, you lose your nutritionist and your fans, and everything's gone. So everything's gone. And even now today with social media, it's going to be even harder because a lot of these, you know, people now they focus and they rely a lot on social media. So there's nowhere to go. They're not going to get what they were getting before. And so there needs to be, I don't know, like a network also as well. Like, so you've got obviously the compulsory maybe aspect of something to prepare you, and maybe sort of like a support, I guess, like a support call. And then off that comes different like professions, like I'm injured, what can I do? I need to speak to that person, or like a support forum in what happens when you're pregnant and you need to decide, do I want to keep fighting or do I want to have a baby? And just different aspects of like what can happen within that time that might force you to stop fighting, which there's lots, you know, especially for girls. We've got to think of parenthood and being a mum. So maybe something like that as well, which just kind of lets that person maybe get online and go, okay, where do I need to go? Okay, here. Oh, there's a whole forum. Oh my God, look at all these people going through the same thing. I'm not lonely, you know, like I'm not on my own here. And actually feeling like it's a safe place for them to maybe open up or have a discussion about something, or just so they're not feeling like how we felt, because we didn't have any of that stuff. We didn't have online forums and stuff really. There was like one or two. But certainly not a network where we could just get online and go, oh my God, which topic do I need to actually speak about? And then you've got it there, and you might have like a whole bunch of people talking about the same thing. and then someone leading that, do you know what I mean? And giving like
I think that
advice
sounds like
or
doable too. I don't think that's like a hard thing.
yeah,
Like I know that the Athlete Commission at the moment are really wanting to do a lot more things, and Yolanda's on that, and she wants to do a lot more things to help support
mm,
athletes like at the other end of their career, and IOC are
yeah.
doing that too. Before we go, I were wondering what piece of advice, if you could give one piece of advice to our listeners who are probably all at different stages in their careers. They might be finished already, they might be starting. What would you say?
I would definitely, like, now that I've done, I guess, the entire thing, I would definitely say make sure it's not a backup plan, because it's not a backup plan when you finish. It is a plan. You need to have a plan that when you finish, you're going to be supported, you're going to be content, and you're going to make the right decisions and the right choices and stuff like that, because you can control what you want through your whole fight career, that's fine, but it's afterwards that you need to actually put some thought into what you're going to do, who's going to be around, prepare you for who's not going to be around, and just, I guess, set you up for that next stage of life, and actually consider that and make it something important, because when you're fighting, you're not thinking about it, you're thinking that it's going to be a forever thing, and it's not at all. So that's what my advice would be, is to, while you're in it, you actually need to think out of it as well, and that's important, because you're going to end up feeling how we don't want you to feel. Like, I don't want anyone to feel how I felt or how you felt. It's horrible. And if I can help in some way, or we can set something up in some way to avoid that and avoid those mental health issues, then that would be good, because it's just, yeah, they don't think of it, and we've done it, so we know that it's there, type thing.
Yeah, 100%. A plan is definitely what they need,
Yeah,
and it's about how can we resource
like an
them and
exit plan.
tools to create their own
Yeah,
plan that works for them, because it'll be different in different cultures too. They'll have different
yeah,
needs across the world. Yeah,
yeah.
I loved talking with you today, Caley. And
Thank you. That was so good.
say again.
Just so I said that was really good. I really enjoyed that. I haven't really spoken that much about that type of stuff, and it's good to be able to actually, speak the truth as well. Like, that it's not easy, and it's not all rainbows and lollipops. It's like poos and spews all the time, and and no direction. So yeah,
And it looks different on social media to what it feels like in real life.
yeah, yeah. Don't be fooled by social media.
I will say a big thank you to you, and I will cut this off, but don't go anywhere, so we can say a quick
Okay.
hi after we finish. Thank you to our
Thank you
audience
so much.
today. Would you like to say a shout out to anyone before we go, Caley?
Not really. I haven't really thought about that. No. Shout out to my kids, actually. Shout out to the boys, because I love them, and I do love being a parent, but it is difficult, and that's okay. I can be honest about that, and I'm sure they'll appreciate the honesty, and I'm very honest with them, so they know that it's hard, and yeah, they know that I love them, and it's just, yeah, a bit of honesty.
Bit of honesty. And I think the boys
Yeah,
will appreciate that, because there's nothing better than actually knowing where you stand and where you're
yeah,
at. I'm hoping
yeah.
that we put a little bit of honesty and a little bit of frankness to our audience today. And I hope that that will make some difference in some women's lives and men's lives and coaches' lives around the world. And hang on after this. If people want to find you, they can find you on Caley Reece Instagram. Is that
Yeah,
right?
Caley Reece Instagram. Yeah, I'm
And
not as busy on it now, because I've got the kids, so I'm not really. I
on it.
use it, but it's definitely not as much as what I was before.
And I bet you got some cool pictures on there of your career. So like
Yeah.
definitely worth a hunt and worth a scroll through. So if you want to check out Caley, then please look at that, because she's pretty awesome at CrossFit as well. I was pretty mind blown by watching some of her stuff. And we will be back again in a month's time with Nicole Kaiser from Sweden, who is taking over the gender equality chair for the IFMA and taking my seat, which I am very grateful to hand over to a new upcomer. So don't forget #KickingGlass, and let's be women that support women through our sport from today and for always. Thanks, guys.